They picked up everything we said, or it's okay. Well, let's get this and we get this, right? Oh, you got more?
Well, it's a little more, but you know,
if it's more bad.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
All right, so bad.
This is Revelation chapter 16, and verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Right, and that's happening right now. If you do a simple Google search on River Euphrates dried up, a whole ton of articles is going to come out how it's being dried up, and the Most High said it was going to happen. What is it for? It's for that battle to take place over there. You said you had something real quick, right?
Yes, sir. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 6. Both the great and small shall die in the land.
See, it says both the great and small. That's why you read Revelation 19. That says they didn't make either flesh of kings, captains, all the way down. So the Lord is not going to discriminate. Go ahead.
They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves. I'll read it again.
Right, go ahead.
Neither shall men lament for them.
Right,
nor
right. It says neither men lament to them because things going to be moving quick. People going to be dying back to back. So, nobody going to have time to, oh, damn, you all right? Like you watch the movie Full Metal Jacket, a person died, and, when they get back to the, to safety, everybody messed up, and, oh, man, they killed such and such. It's not going to be like that. People just be dying just like that, back to back. They're going to be too focused trying to preserve their own life.
It's not going to be like Boys in the Hood when they put Ricky's body, dead body back in the house.
Yeah, the baby crying.
Dickhead took his body in the hospital instead of the hospital. Dumb nigga. That's why he died.
That's right.
They should not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves.
And they're gonna be dead bodies in the Middle East, and they're gonna be dead bodies here. They're gonna be, how we know, it told us that second Ezra, I believe, what's that, 16 or 15, 28?
Neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them.
Right.
They're not gonna cry for them. There ain't gonna be no time. The death gonna be happening so fast, gonna be so rapid that people are gonna be stepping over bodies. Yeah. Oh shit! Oh. Yeah. No, that was Eric. Oh, Eric gone. You gotta keep moving. I'm Salaki. Because that's how it's about to go down. Oh, because people ain't, which I don't understand, BBQs and these hospitals ain't gonna have no time to be taking care of nobody. I'm sorry. Ain't gonna have no time to serve no one.
It's like when these big riots, and break out, these uprisings. Oh, Baltimore uprising, this uprising, Ferguson uprising. And then once a week go past, or 2 weeks go past, and the riot is all over, what happened? They say, oh, it was 17 dead people, 46 people injured. But guess what? Did they say all the type of people for this dead guy that's trapped under this Hondo cord? No, he's just dead. Everybody will know about their business. But men, people getting trampled. If you in an auditorium and there's a show going on, a fire drill, oh my God, it's fire. You trample, people gonna be on the floor dead. They ain't gonna, you got a guy arm like this, looking all twisted up with one leg up. Ain't nobody gonna more than that. They're trying to get the hell out of here.
Because since 2020, everybody that's been dropping dead, they've been forgotten about. So that's gonna speed up, man. It's really happening, man. This is the time that our apostles and our disciples of Yahweh Shah was looking forward to, for these things that Yahweh Shah was talking about. And Ezra, like we just mentioned, I'm gonna get that verse for you.
I got some. Second Ezra 9 and 13. And therefore, be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished. And when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose world is
and for whom the world is created. Then answered I and said, I have said before and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish, of them which shall be saved, like as a wave is greater than a drop.
Right. And it's gonna be. And speaking of perishing, you know, they're experiencing a lot of. Shalom, brother. Yeah, but the cargo that's supposed to bring everything in is not being unloaded, and it's not a big panic now because it's not on the news. It's not some. Right now they're paying what's cracking, bitch Gabby. They're talking about Gabby, missing Gabby, Edomite woman Gabby, but there's real actual events happening, you know. And so it's gonna be a lot of dead bodies, people dying from famine, and so on and so forth. That's because
yeah, no, pretty much what that was going into, man. You're gonna have so much people perish that it's gonna become a common sight. Like if you drive at night, right, and you on like maybe New Jersey, whatever, and you see roadkill, you get accustomed to it, right? So it's a common thing. You just drive past it, unless it's something like it's rare, then it's a shock. So the scriptures is telling you dead bodies are gonna be a thing. Like somebody's dead. Oh shit, my bad. Just keep pushing. It's gonna be that common. Like you're not gonna give a fuck about it. That's what the Lord is issuing, man. The Lord is gonna. Matter of fact, 2nd Ezra 8.
I went over shit.
There you go. That's the spirit, brother.
I had it right here, but I was gonna go right to the point. You go to 8 point. It
Yeah, you
says,
can read the 3 points.
and he answered me saying, the Moses have like it. 2nd Ezra chapter 8 verse 1. And he answered me saying, the Moses made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
Right, so there's many spirits in this planet Earth right now. The Apostle Elder Ramla makes a great point. There's more spirits on the planet Earth than there ever was throughout history. Why is that? That's for this judgment that's coming. What they estimated from 7 billion to 9 billion. That's a lot of spirits here. But the Lord tells us he's only dealing with 144,000 men. Right, and of course you have the which are part of the elect. So that's a very small number that's destined to be saved out of here.
Verse 2. I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it's given much mold whereof earthen vessels are made.
Right, it's very easy to see mud and dirt on the street. I mean, it's even in this concrete city, you see patches of dirt here and there. It's very easy to see. That's what the Lord is saying. These people, there's a lot of common people. Go ahead.
But it says, but little dust that cometh of.
How many times you heard somebody say, man, I stumbled and saw some gold? You don't hear that. You don't hear that, man, because gold is very scarce. You know what I'm saying? Same too. Sirach 2 is a man that serves the Lord. Very scarce. That's how come you don't see us with a gathering like what's this guy, Creflo Dollar and these type of, with a mega stadium. The Lord's not dealing with that. It's a small sanctuary the Lord is dealing with.
Like you see a virtuous woman, it says the price is far above rubies.
Oh yeah.
Well, what makes the word precious is something that's high in quality but low in quantity.
Right.
It's something being low in quantity or rare is what makes it pricey. It makes it expensive. Someone says the virtuous woman price is above rubies. You're saying that a virtuous woman price is above rubies because she's more rare than rubies. When the last thing I've ever seen a ruby that's on the ground? Oh, there's a ruby, look, yo! Anybody else seen that before?
Of course not.
Any of y'all brothers seen that? So guess what? You ain't never seen a virtuous woman before. Right. She's harder to find than a ruby. And you're a fucking woman righteous, man.
Yeah,
ain't none of these dead women righteous. Oh, I got more queen. Look at the word queen. Look at the word queen. That's all.
So it says, even so the course of this present world, there be many created, but few shall be saved.
Right. There be many created, but few shall be saved. In other words, the Lord is not dealing with the mud and the dirt. The Lord is dealing with the silver and the gold and the bronze, and that's the hopeful elect out there. But within this period, even amongst that, you have Fugazi gold. Hey, somebody get Jeremiah 6:30. Get Jeremiah 6:30.
I got it real quick. I got a real precept. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 20. For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the Lord of the Most High Yahweh that is set before them.
And it's always going to be like that. The number of the wicked is always going to surpass the number of righteous souls on the planet Earth. what was Solomon ratio? 1 to 1,000, right? So that means if you go on Solomon ratio, if you see 10,000 men, all right, 10 righteous. If you see 100,000, 100 righteous. You see what I'm saying? You see how quickly that starts to compound. Like, so it's not far-fetched to say, like, within a city like this, New York, 8 million people, you're probably gonna have like 100 brothers trying to serve the Lord correctly, man.
That's right.
100, 200, you know what I'm saying?
Verse 21. For the Most High Yahweh have given straight commandment what to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came.
But here's the thing, though. People don't want to follow the Lord's commandments. People want to follow after their own lust and heart, man. All right? Because guess what? Before the Most High destroys a society, he's always going to give a warning. Via what? His prophets, man. He's always going to have a mediator, an intercession between men and him. And before the Most High destroys a place physically, you mentioned this, he destroys it spiritually, all right? By using the verbal words of his prophets. Do people take heed? They don't.
It says, for the Most High Yahweh have given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
What should a man do to live? Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments to the best of your ability. Thankfully, through the blood of Yahushua, we're now justified through his faith in Yahushua. That's Romans 5 and 1. But still, a part of showing your faith is you show your faith also by your works, man. All right? If you believe in this thing, if you truly have faith, you're going to do your best. You're going to rehearse the righteous acts. You're going to come out here and teach. You're not going to go into the ways of this world. What's the ways of this world? Being a homosexual, try to bend over for Satan, make successful, do fucking backflip off a building for a woman, all right? You name it. Anything that goes against the scriptures is esteemed in this society. Because what the so-called white man is Satan, adversary. He's adversarial to the scriptures. Every single law, statute, and commandment in the Bible is being broken right now in America.
Just a little more. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things.
Now, they have a saying, history repeats itself. Why does that happen? Because the same spirits come back and do the same things. This same passage could be read during the time of Noah. It could be read during the time of 70 AD. It could be read during the time of the fall of Jerusalem, the fall of the northern kingdom. All right? Because these people always come back and rebel. And you're always going to have a small few that the Lord is going to, what he calls his 10th part, his elect, that's going to make it through.
It says, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said the Most High, that he is not and knew none of his ways.
Yeah, so this shit ain't gonna happen. Y'all niggas been out here too long, yada yada. I'm going back in the world, fuck it. I'm wasting my life. All that type of shit, that lack of faith. But guess what? Romans 3 and 3. You can sit on some train tracks and talk about you don't believe in trains, but what's gonna happen to your ass? Eventually you're gonna get clapped. So that's what's gonna happen to a lot of these people out here, man. That put the word of the Lord behind them. These niggas are just out here wasting their lives. You know when they're gonna really get right? When you hear, this is not a test. This is not a test. And then fucking missiles is being launched, man.
That's right.
Then they're gonna be, yo, what was it? How all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and in that day, Lord willing, when the missiles hit, we're gonna be seeing this thing from a bird's eye view.
That's right.
Meaning looking down, laughing. Y'all remember that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Look at that biscuit.
I'm talking about like a spiteful laugh. that man. Go when we are the elect, man, brothers.
Yeah,
go ahead,
man.
go ahead, bro.
Second Ezra chapter.
Because that's how they laugh at us. They snickering in their mind, but they don't know that the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is taking account of everything you say outwardly and within your thoughts, man. Go ahead, brother.
That's right. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 16. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards.
Yeah, if you look at the hypernym,
Yeah.
Hypernym means a greater definition of the word arrow. It's going to say a missile, right? Because that's what it is. That's
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what the missiles are likened onto. Because it's likened onto an arrow. What's the bow? The bow is a silo, all right? And then you have the missile itself. And what's the blunt of the force of the nuclear missile? The warhead. You have nuclear warheads that can hold up to, you have missiles that can hold up to what? 10, 1,000 warheads, man. The Lord is saying on 200,000 or 200 million, all right, quakes, all right, is going to hit here in America. That's why it's going to be quick. An hour. That's it.
It's over.
You know what I'm saying? But guess what? The Most High has the ability to slow time down for you people. Y'all think it's going to be quick, but the Lord is going to do something to the effect that the shit's going to feel like, you know what I'm saying? He can make. Look, man, the Most High can do a lot of things. So for those of you thinking, it's gonna be quick and that, nah, man, the Lord got His own timing and all that, man.
Time is everything. What's that? Preserve your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can be wounded, but don't die.
Like at 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 16. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth.
Stop right here. Zechariah 14 and 12. And we're going to go right back to it. The brother said the plague, right?
Yes, sir.
The arrow's going to be shot. It's the plague, right? Right. Read Zechariah 14 and 12.
This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Right, continue.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Now, that's at the time that this is written, there was no sort of flame that could do that. Like even let's hypothetically speaking, you got a flamethrower, you're blasting somebody, they're gonna
That's it.
No, this is saying, look, while they stand up on their feet, they're gonna be dust and ash. What's they gonna do that? Nuclear fire, man. All right, just like in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, the Lord using split the atom and turn their ass to salt. All right, the Lord's gonna do it again, man. Okay. Why you? The scripture says in Isaiah 54 and 16, I created a smith that blows the coals in the fire. Why you think the Lord has progressed us from catapults to fucking missiles, man, to fulfill His word? Those missiles are gonna be used, man. That's right, brother.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Physically and their aspirations for the future. You know what I'm saying? Because the so-called white man, he's proud. He always thinks that he's gonna be here for years and make shit like Futurama, 3,000 years or something on top. Or he might be like, yo, we make an Avatar 1, 2, and 3. He never say Lord willing after. He just knows shit. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? The Lord is telling you like these aspirations of your future and your future powers, and it's not gonna come to fruition. It's gonna burn up in America. Continue. I got you. Well, I'm gonna go back to mine now. Go ahead.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Right, their philosophies. All right. Man, it's so screwed up in this place that you start speaking about the so-called white man's philosophies, the video get flagged. All right, because you have the LGBTQ, you got bestiality. See, one thing where they having sex with the earth. All right, so the so-called white man. Look, the Book of Psalms tell you that they're adverse from the womb. All right.
See that video, bro? What? That Edomite was he put his paws in the ground and started humping the ground.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. You got people marrying their cars, marrying dogs. They're a sick nation, you know what I'm saying? But who gives a hell about them? What the real issue is, you've influenced the people of the Lord to follow after you, man. That's the real issue, because these nations, you know what I'm saying, they're not governed by law, they're beasts. You know what I'm saying? They don't got no law over them. We're supposed to be the one to govern over them. Right. But they have influenced our people, the 2/3. All right, so now you gotta pay. All right? You know, here in America, you can't have 2 wives, but 2 men can get married. You can't discipline your kids, they'll take your kids from you. This place should grieve you. All right? The scripture says, oppression maketh the wise man mad, but you niggas don't even know you're being oppressed. That was it.
All right, even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
Right. You know, the scriptures also liken it to a woman in travail and labor, meaning these things are gonna come sporadic. You know what I'm saying? Like we like outline it like a famine and martial law, but it's just gonna be a lot of different plays coming from different angles that you ain't gonna really be able to time and prepare for it, man. All right? Unless look, you have this truth with you, because the scripture says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. That's like when we start seeing dead bodies out here, women getting their head chopped off. We're gonna be, I mean, it's gonna still be like, oh shit, but we're not gonna be like, damn, I didn't expect this. Nah, man, we're gonna be like, yup, this is what we're waiting for.
I got 2 pieces, but it coincides with both.
Is that it, brother?
That was just
It coincides with both. But I'm gonna start with 2 Ezra 8 and 50. Then I'm gonna jump down to the 10th verse, and it reads, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world."
We say it week in, week out. We got famine, we got the martial law, but damn famine, bro. Think about that. Your body eating itself alive. You're gonna be fucked up in the head. Cannibalism. Everything you see in these disaster movies, or foreshadowed what's to come here in America, man.
You got floods in Russia. You got floods in France. You got torrential rain coming down and different. You got volcanoes erupting. You got uproars of the people. You have all kind of hell going on in this earth, man.
EMP attacks could happen.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Because they had a blackout back in 05 and people lost it for a second, but the Lord could do something like that again.
That was in 03.
Oh,
It says,
03,
yeah.
okay.
It says because they have walked in great pride.
Right. They walked in great pride, right? They don't think there's a Most High. Everybody in this society believe themselves as the Most High because what's today's culture? Follow me on this, follow me on that. When was the last time you heard somebody say follow the Lord?
Right.
It's all about me, me, me. Go ahead, brother.
So this is I'm gonna jump down to 2nd Ezra. I'm gonna go to 2nd Ezra 9 verse 10. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have lost my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance is open unto them.
What does the scripture says in Rebecca? The law is slack.
Yeah,
the law is slack in America. What laws? The law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right, when you bring out the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, it grieves people in the society. Now, that can't be right. That was back then. Nah, man, these are the laws of the law, but the laws of the so-called white man are upheld in America, which goes against the scriptures, man.
That's right. So it says, and they that have lost my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance is open unto them, understood not, but despised it.
Yeah, all right. Even guys that call themselves Israelites, all right? Because you have the Lord telling you not to make any cuttings and markings in your flesh. And these guys are telling their congregation to download the Windows 19 on their computer, man. All right? Telling them they can take the jab, you can have anal sex with your woman, all right? Sex on the Sabbath, all right? These guys are loathing the law because the law is telling you what not to do, and these guys are saying, "Nah, go ahead and do it." You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The same must know it after death by pain.
Exactly. So there's going to be a punishment for that, man. All right. For every action, is equal opposite reaction, cause and effect. All right. In other words, the Lord is telling you, look, if you keep my statutes, it's all in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. If you keep them, it's going to be blessing. If you don't keep them, these are going to be the curses. All right. And you still have in this society, right, guys that understand the Bible, they don't understand the scriptures, but call themselves understanding the scriptures and telling the congregation it's all right to break the laws, man.
It says, the same must know after death by pain.
Right, and that's when the missiles are going to come, whether it be, Amos, all right? You had the day of the Lord come, like, get that, like if you escape a bear.
Well, I got this one right here first.
You can find that in Amos, I believe it's the 5th chapter, the 18th verse.
Well, this is Zephaniah the 1 verse 14. Mm-hmm. The great day of the Lord is near. Mm-hmm. It is near and hasteth greatly.
Yeah, so what's the day of the Lord? The day of the Lord is coming with fire, all right? Not roses and hugs and blooming flowers. Nah, man, the scriptures tell you that the Lord is pissed off at this place. And his anger is recent because the Lord is operating on a different time. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Did you get Amos 5th chapter? Yeah, let me read that real quick.
Amos chapter 5 verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Exactly. A lot of people in this planet Earth think the day of the Lord is going to be a day where and everybody's going to come together and sing Kumbaya and peace is the world. I don't know, man. Woe means destruction. All right? We understand that the day of the Lord is going to come with great wrath, man. It's not a time to fuck around with the Most High, man. Never is. Go ahead.
To what end is it for you?
Right. These church-going people that didn't understand the scriptures and man, I can't wait till the Lord comes back. Well, nah, man, you don't know what the Lord's coming back with. All right, he's coming back with these chariots. Go ahead.
The day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is darkness and not light.
Boom, there it is. All right, because when these missiles, it's gonna be. I remember the elder broke it down too. It's gonna be a little dark day, man. All right, dark, cloudy day, man. You know. When somebody makes an entrance and you know that the Lord is telling you these are the signs of my entrance, a dark, gloomy day, fire kindled. You know what I'm saying? The Lord set an atonement before you come back. Right?
Verse 19. And if a man did flee from a lion,
as if a man did flee from a lion, right?
And a bear met him.
Damn, so you escaped. Let's say you made it through a famine in your area. Next thing you know, fucking martial law happening, a race riot happening, barricades, man. Yeah. You know, right. a crazy storm. Go ahead.
Or went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him.
So the scriptures are saying, let's say you escape all these calamities. At the end of the day, the missiles come.
That's right.
How you gonna escape that? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? These guys leaps and bounds and shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're not right with the Most High, there's no getting out of America when these missiles hit.
I got some stuff for you. Well, I'm gonna finish it up. You can go right there real quick. This is going into that. The great day of the Lord, Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly.
Yep, the great day of the Lord is what we're talking about. World War III, all right? When the chariots return, okay? And we're measuring the time in itself. We measure the time in itself diligently because what? We're observing the news, all right? A lot of people don't watch the news.
They say it's depressing.
Yeah, they don't, right? They want to hear smooth things and they want to live it up. You know what I'm saying? The only time a nigga might come crash like some sort of world news, maybe world star put it on or some shit, media take out, I don't know. But for the most part, they're not into stuff like RT. Well, we beyond that, man.
That's right.
You got brothers, we watching people that they banned off YouTube, man. Because a lot of shit is censored because they don't want you to know the truth.
That's right. That's right. So it says, back in Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14, the great day of the Lord Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry thereof their ability.
Yo, you saw that video I posted in the chat, bro, with that suicide bomber?
Yeah, I see that.
That was by that was in Syria. So you still got people over there strapping shit up to themselves, blowing themselves up. It will never cease over there. Why? Because the so-called Jews doing it in our land.
And he grabbed that police officer, both of them. Two of them guys grabbed him. They both purpose with that guy.
I don't know who had the bomb on him. I don't know if he's trying to take it off or whatever. But
the other guy jumped on them too, and they all three of them guys.
But you know when they blew up, it looked like some shit out of a movie. You ever see Men in Black when they shoot that dude head off and the shit was gooey and shit?
Yeah,
It
that's
was
what happened.
like that, but it was
Yeah, I
real.
saw it, yeah.
You just saw.
And you had people around them that got the blood of the blast, and they was laying on the floor and shit, getting up all fucked up and shit and hurt.
Yeah.
But they were surviving.
One dude was mad close, but oh, the whole shit. But man, that's a common sight over there, bro.
Good.
That's yo, man. The same way that death happened over there, you gonna dead bodies and things like that's gonna be a common sight here in America.
I got a little more.
Go ahead, brother.
It says, back in Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 15, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress.
Right, a day of wrath, a day of distress, man. All right, people losing their shit, man. These women freaking the hell out. All right. Oh, the scripture says, men hearts failing them. All right, you gonna have people having heart attacks. It's gonna be a heavy thing, man. All right, and it's been really. America never truly experienced something like that yet, man.
Yep.
All right, because there was no major war where another nation came and invaded America to that level to bring it to that sort of distress like you see over there in the Middle East.
That's called the virgin daughter of Babylon.
Exactly.
Somebody got bump. He said bump gonna fall. He didn't have bump in that road, right? Hit the bump and that shit flew him over, man. He flipped over. Anyway, that's why it's called the virgin daughter of Babylon.
Right.
Nah,
I'm good.
I got pretty stuff for you.
Because it hasn't been touched yet. Finish that real quick.
Yeah. So it reads, it says, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness.
Right, so pretty much the day of the Lord is going to piss these people off in the world that's designed the day of the Lord. Because what's taught in this world? Prosperity. All right? Yeah. Go ahead, brother. They equate prosperity with the Lord working with you and, you know what I'm saying, if things are going good, that means the Lord's doing. No, we're telling you, look, man, the Lord is not happy with this place, man. All right? The Lord is not dealing with a prosperity doctrine, man.
That's right.
Yahweh Shem Shai, the man that he's dealing with is going to be affliction to make you better, departing from the world, and waiting on his son's return, man. That's a true mindset one should be. Hey,
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of Yahweh Shem Shai, and for the glory of his majesty. The Lord, hide yourself, because the Lord he's gonna appear from out the clouds in those chariots with his army. So you should be hiding yourself, because the elites are gonna hide themselves, because they know the day of the Lord is coming. All right, and so they left you unprepared, while we out here telling you prepare yourself for the Yahweh Shem Shai. And the elites said, I got my underground bunkers, I got my satellites, I'm gonna be hiding. But they're not gonna be there for long. That's actually That's their holding cell. You know how when you go to jail, they got that little central booking? That's where they going at. Then they go into the real hardcore jail, which is those pits. Okay? All right. Okay, go ahead.
This is Psalms 137, verse 8. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art thee destroyed.
Who's daughter of Babylon? America. Our daughter of Babylon. We're not talking about the old Babylon. There's a new Babylon that's still around right now. We know it biblically as Babylon, which is Babel, which is confusion.
Yeah, the ancient Babylon was not destroyed. It was annexed by the Persians, all right? The daughter of Babylon is going to be destroyed. You can still go over there in Iraq and see Babylon, man, all right? Babylon that the scriptures is talking about here is America, because Babylon, Babel, a land of confusion.
Right.
And this is what America is.
It says, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
Yeah, happy. As he rewarded us, what he done to us, we're going to be happy with what we done to them. Double. All right? And those missiles is going to really, like the other brother said, this place is going to be bombarded with missiles. He was calculating how many missiles was in it. 200, like how many, in one multi-warhead? It's like,
man, like right now they have warheads that can hold up to 100. You have nuclear missiles that can hold up to 100 warheads, because the scripture says their head do hurt, because the bulk of the missile is what? The destruction is in the warhead.
Ooh, the heads do hurt.
Their heads do hurt.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. You're right. Because it's going to hurt. You know how it's going to hurt? It's going to hurt with fire. Boom, boom, boom. And it's going to hit, and it's going to be that wind, and then that fire is going to come behind it, and then you're going to be cooked, like we saw in Terminator. Somebody, whoever put that movie together, they saw it. I'm sorry.
James Cameron.
Yeah, the James Cameron, he put that.
She saw it. They took that script from a black woman.
Yeah.
But that script really is coming from the scriptures, man.
Yeah,
Judgment
that's
Day
right.
is in the scriptures. World War III.
Yeah.
All right, because the scriptures speak about 3 woes. All right, and those woes represent these different world wars. And we're in the midst of World War III, and it's in the what's this dude? Albert Pike. Albert Pike and that the Illuminati thing. They spoke about a World War III between the quote unquote Christians and the Muslims, man.
So the 3 world wars.
Yep.
We spoke about it in the 1800s.
Yeah. So look, man.
1870s.
Right. So all roads lead to America. All right. Being drawn into an entangled battle over there that starts in the Middle East by the so-called Jew. All right. Because the scriptures in the book of Jeremiah, I believe the 49th chapter says, "What the least of the flock shall draw them out."
Right.
And the least of the flock of the nation will eat them is the so-called Jews. So
That's right there, but jump on that. I got one more verse for you.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 11. The lofty look of men shall be humble.
yeah, mainly the so-called white man.
That's right.
All right, because he's the one that's walking around, pretty much calling himself the Most High.
Yep.
All right, or if there's no God, but if there's a God, he looks like me. You know what I'm saying? He's walking around in that position. Why? Because the Most High done gave this man everything. The Rothschilds can get on camera, shoot a baby in the face, and get all scot-free. They control every goddamn thing, man. They can do it. This is their kingdom.
Right. The lofty look of men shall be humble, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down.
This man is so proud that when you read the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, he's going to be so proud that he's going to fight against the Most High's son himself, man.
Right.
The Most High, man, that's a heavy delusion right there, man. To think you stand a chance against the Heavenly Father. Because they're going to see the capability of the chariots. They're going to be afraid with that fucking pride. They're going to still, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and fight.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
And the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah alone shall be exalted in that day.
Right, so ultimately, Lord, Yahweh Shah is going to get the glory. He's going to win the battle. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know the Most High is a very theatrical power. He knows damn well the so-called white man in these nations don't stand a chance against his son. But, you know, being at theatrics, it's going to be a great sight. We want to see that. You know what I mean? And the Lord wants a battle. So that's what's going to take place. You had mentioned that they're going to be hiding in space stations and the underground bunkers. Go ahead and read that out.
It's Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them.
Right. Now, that's another misconception that people think. There's a place called hell where your spirit is burning forever. That's all bullshit, all right? there's no such thing as a place where your spirit burns forever. The Most High don't operate that way. Okay, the Most High is a merciful power. When it says that they dig into hell, that's what this brother was referring to earlier, man. You have the underground space stations at the so-called white underground space stations. The underground bunkers, they call them dumps, or deep underground military bunkers. All right? They show you that in that movie G.I. Joe. When they went underwater and shit, and the G.I. Joes was operating under some, some cave somewhere under the water. That's what the so-called white man, he has different, the elites of them have different bases underground that we're gonna go get their ass. Go ahead. Go when we get the elect. Go ahead.
Nope.
I'll run this out.
Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down.
And then you got guys like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all right, working on stuff like Blue Moon. Oh, you also got Richard Branson of Virgin Galactic. Got something called Space. They're working on these different shuttles and stuff to keep them on the pretty much the outer rim of the Earth, man. Why? To escape the destruction. You niggas can't afford a ticket on that, man. Right? That's for the elites. To you, a high ticket is some shit to Moon or some shit like that. That's an expensive trip. Nah, these tickets are $1 million tickets, man. You niggas can't afford that, but the elites are gonna be the ones to afford these extravagant ships that's gonna keep them away from the destruction. And that's how come they had that movie Elysium. And in the movie Elysium, all right, by the way, Elysium goes back to Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, when you passed away, all right, they put the money over your eyes, and you had 3 different places to go. You had Hades, which was like the equivalent of hell. You had another place that was pretty much like Earth, and then their version of heaven was the Greek word Elysium. So the elites were saying, this is our heaven. But the scripture says what? That they go up into heaven. So everything is lined up with the scriptures. So they're going to be up in these space stations because the elites are going to escape the destruction, but to what? To be the first batch of slaves, man. Read it again, huh?
Right. Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down.
We're going to be the Most High's hand, Lord willing, is elect, all right? Because the Most High's not going to have a physical hand, nah. We're going to be the powers, all right, to come and get these devils out of the place that they've been hiding themselves, man, to be the first batch of slaves, man.
I got a precept for that.
What?
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 20. Thou art my battle axe
Exactly.
and weapon of war.
Spirit, that's what I was thinking of. Exactly. So the Most High is going to use us as his arm, all right, to get these devils. Okay, because guess what? The elites, they haven't left a finger in their life, man. They got people cooking for them, wiping their ass. Pretty much just like Hakeem in Coming to America in the intro. That's how these elites are living, man. All right? They don't drive their cars. They don't do none of that shit, man. They got servants. So, just like in that movie, y'all Trading Places, all right? You had Eddie Murphy, who was on the bottom, and you had that Dan Aykroyd was playing a rich Edomite, and then the world's got flipped. That's what's gonna happen. The Most High is gonna turn the so-called white man, the elites of the world, upside down. All right, because right now, the scripture says what? Obviously, servants upon horses. Meaning the so-called white man was meant to serve, but he's in a power seat. All right? And I've seen the rich in low places, so the Most High has to fix things. Because King Solomon said it. He said that was an error. He said, I seen an error on this one. Like, this ain't supposed to be this way. 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter, the 56th verse tells us what? The earth was created for our sakes, man. So these nations out here are just slaves on the loose. All right? Starting with the so-called white man, and we're going to get them back in subjection, under rule.
I got a little more, if you don't mind. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations.
Yep, so the Most High, that's going to also happen in race riots. All right, you're going to have a lot of Jakes that's going to be breaking in, going in these rich neighborhoods and doing as they desire. You know what I'm saying?
Salakia. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And that's gonna be, we're gonna be his hand, like the elder brother was saying. We're gonna be the ones that's gonna put that work in.
We're gonna go down and get you out of those holes. But when we see you in there, we're gonna leave you there for what it says in the scripture that we're gonna leave you for days. I forgot that first go. And then we're gonna come back and get you out of there and put you in and put those shackles on you, those old rusty chains, and put you in.
Brother, we're gonna make the chains are gonna be hot.
Oh, hot rusty chains.
You know how you the guy, the smith, he's making his chains and it cools down. I'm gonna make them cool down. You fucking put them on hot, searing hot.
We're gonna keep them hot and rusty. I want them rusty on them too. And we're gonna put you we're gonna put you in slavery. Like what was done to us, we're gonna do to you, but in righteousness. We ain't gonna cut your rod off. We ain't gonna have sex with you.
But we can cut the rod off.
Oh, sorry, Salaki. We're gonna castrate you. We're gonna meditate terror on you. But we're gonna make sure you know exactly what you did to us. Okay?
The white man didn't show us any pity, man.
No pity.
Alligator bait.
Yeah, alligator bait.
Then where's this get somebody and you can't cut somebody rod off? Salaki. That ain't no sense. If you cut somebody in pieces, oh my God, you cut somebody in pieces. What you gonna do? So if you cut both people's legs off, what the hell? The fuck?
Yeah. Cut all 3 legs. Devil's punch, bro.
If you cut, well, we ain't saying that. If you cut somebody's legs off, you think that like one of their rod is gonna fucking just be sitting there? No, they rod gonna come off with it. What the fuck do you expect?
What I'm saying, Esau.
No, not too much. I'm just saying, people out there that think they can't do that. Yeah. You can do that shit, but Esau, you're doing gay shit. Yeah. Raping men, committing adultery. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can be able to cut their rod off.
Flaying is gonna be big, man. Flaying, Game of Thrones flaying, peeling somebody's skin off and shit.
Flaying them.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm saying, having melted gold and throwing them Esau babies in the gold while it's melted, I'm saying while it's boiling. But you had the Devil's Punch, bro, in Mississippi. You had Derby's Dose over there with Thomas Thistlewood. You know, that's why we call you the devil, red bastard.
They were force feeding Jake's.
Well, what they did was Thomas Thistlewood was a Jake over in the Caribbean islands. He was hungry and he was chopping down sugar cane. So he took a small piece of sugar cane and ate it. But Thomas Thistlewood, that came from Great Britain, was a tyrant, and he was like, yo, listen, he whipped them, put pickle juice on them, whipped them bad. And then what he did was, when he was almost to death, he had another slave hold him while he was in the floor, take him, the slave shit it in his mouth, and he took the tape and put it on his mouth so he can't spit it out. That was called Derby's Dose, because he ate a piece of cane, of a sugar cane.
They used to throw them jakes down there in the vat of sugar that's being cooked so they could die.
And let the ants eat upon it.
Boil them in a vat of sugar.
All the time with the horses and have the horses running in different directions.
They used to take him and put him in molasses and then store him there and leave him there in the hot sun and let the fire ants eat upon them. That's torture, man. Have you ever got bitten by a fire ant? That one fire ant could leave some damage on you. Imagine multiple ants covering your body. They could devour you like that, man.
That's got when the so-called white man was overt with his hatred towards you niggas. Now everything is sort of covertly done. They might talk shit about you or not hire you and all that, but that hatred is still there because when you read, what's that, Ezekiel 35:5, a perpetual hatred? Go ahead, brother.
This is Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
And what is the so-called white man sold in the planet Earth? Rape, robbery, and murder. Right? I don't know if brothers brought it out earlier, but I know they mentioned it in the book of Numbers. All right, blood defiles the land. And this land that we're standing upon is built on nothing but the bloodshed of the Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, which are, all right, the tribe of Gad, all right, which are Israelites. Okay, so somebody get Colossians 3:25. There's a price to pay for that, man. You know, and that's what we're going into. We're telling you that we're going to recompense you, all right, for all the atrocity that you've done to our people. And the Most High is going to put all these things back fresh in the minds of our people. A lot of you niggas forget that the so-called white man was not hanging you, under 100 years ago?
Yeah, 50 years ago, the niggas still getting hung.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not thousands of years later. This is still, your grandmothers were slaves, man. And grandfathers, man. It's not that long ago, but you niggas seem to forget that. Why? Because the so-called white man made you a fucking employee. All right? Now you're a paid slave.
Now you got these black apes. That's what I'm tired of calling y'all niggas, man. I think it's beneath that word, man. That niggas is apes. And I ain't talking about playing the apes, they was intelligent.
Oh, wait.
That niggas just straight up apes, man. Now they fucking, they got this BMF shit coming out. You got niggas like, yo, BMF, yo. They got like BMF, like, Black Mafia. Like, that nigga that was, they throwing like shows for them niggas. Yeah, we going for the BMX promo show or BMX premiere. I'm like, yo, why you celebrating this fucking black fucking monkey? This black crocodile, man. Why you celebrating this fucking nigga? Because the white man brainwashed you damn niggas for your own, to accept your own genocide. Like your brother was saying, that ancestor was still being hung. But see, this is deeper than that. Because Esau got all manners of wickedness that he does. So let me get a scripture real quick. So I get Job, what's that scripture thing on position of value? 13 and 4.
This is Job 13 and 4. But ye are forgers of lies.
Yeah, Esau is a forger of lies, man. Like how you forge a sword out of iron. Esau is a forger of lies. He forms lies, man. But
ye are physician. Oh, Slaki, let me read it again. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
You're a physician of no value. See, the goal of a physician is to make you whole. Esau is a physician of no value. Esau doesn't make you whole. See, what it is you gotta understand is that racism, it doesn't cease, it just changes its form. Decades ago, Esau was more covert. It's like Esau was more overt. He's more overt in his wickedness. Now he's more covert, meaning he's more hidden. Yeah. Because times have changed, therefore certain acts of injustice are not as acceptable as they once was. If you go on Google, you type in how schizophrenia became a black disease, there's actually a book about it. There's an article you can find. And I spoke about this before. Back in the 1960s, during the red hot summers, when you had all types of riots occurring throughout the United States, like in Detroit. As a matter of fact, they made a movie called Detroit years ago. And basically what they was doing was, you had these black men that was like freedom fighters that was protesting. In Detroit, what they would do is, or in other words in Michigan, Detroit is a city of Michigan, they would arrest them and they would take them to this Ionia State Hospital, IONIA, Ionia State Hospital in Lansing, Michigan. And when they would have them there, they started to diagnose them as being schizophrenic. But what you have to understand is that prior to that period in the 60s, schizophrenia was always looked at as a disease associated with white women, white housewives that couldn't complete household tasks, household chores. But then over time, it became associated with black male belligerents. Belligerent means to be hostile or to be aggressive. Remember, they was arresting them when they were either rioting or when they were protesting. Isn't that protesting considered belligerent? In other words, aggressive or hostile? When you look at the image of black males in the media, television shows, movies, hip-hop, what do you commonly see? Black male belligerents. A young black boy gets sent to the office. Next thing you know, they want to send him to the guidance counselor. Next thing you know, they're calling a parent up saying your child should go to a psychiatrist. Because it's embedded in the American psyche that black males specifically are these hyper-aggressive individuals. Being that we're being depicted as hyper-aggressive individuals, and schizophrenia is associated with belligerence or hostility or aggression, who's it going to be associated with? Black males. Jake. When you look it up, you'll find out that black males are more diagnosed with schizophrenia in America than anyone else in the country. Black males in the UK are more diagnosed with it than anyone else in that country. Somebody type in genocide convention on Google. Somebody type in genocide on the and then go to Wikipedia.
Like I said, this too. To be covert racism is doing a lot more damage than overtly ever did. Because what's a form of covert racism? Planned Parenthood, what they said, how many millions of so-called black babies have died in the black woman's womb? Oh, the most deadliest space for a black man is in the black woman's womb. Yeah. So you have Planned Parenthood, that's covert racism. Also, right. This rap music, yeah. Right? Because all it leads to is degeneracy, violence, and death. And You know that song Beatbox with Spot 'em Got 'em? You ever heard it?
I heard of him, but I never heard
Yeah,
of him.
try to make a beatbox, some shit like that. Anyways, the label behind that has a contract with this dude, but the dude owns a correctional facility. In other words, the correctional facility is promoting this music because what does it lead to? It leads you right in jail, and that's
Exactly.
business, man. So this sort of covert racism does way more harm than the overt shit because it was out in the open. Jake will eventually like buy it and shit. Now, y'all must know something thought. These Jakes accept the roles that the so-called white man is giving them.
And that's the exact reason why when the Jake gets shot, you killed man. But everything else happened to the Jake, they don't see nothing. Because everything else is more covert. Read that out.
So it says the convention under prevention.
The convention
Oh.
the convention on the prevention.
The Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. Genocide Convention is an international treaty that criminalizes genocide and obligates states parties to enforce its prohibition. It was first legal. It was first legal instrumented to codify.
It was the first legal instrument to codify.
First legal instrument to codify genocide as a crime, and the first human rights treaty to unanimously adopt by the United Nations General Assembly on 9 December 1948.
Now let's look at some definitions of genocide.
So it says, any of the following acts committed with inherent to destroy
And with intent to destroy.
or with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious
Ethnic.
racial, or religious group as such, killing members of the group.
So according to the convention on the CPPG, Convention on Punishment, the Convention on Prevention, the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Crime of Genocide, one definition of genocide is killing members of the group. Let's use the example, gunning Jake down in the street. And we understand, so you gotta understand something. Now you got Jake getting shot down in the street, right? Now why is it that Jake always gets shot down in the street and nothing ever comes of it? But we're gonna tell you why. Because there's something called brutality bonds.
Oh, what?
Brutality bonds.
Okay.
Now, what is a brutality bond? You gotta understand something. When these people get beat down by the cops, when they get killed by the cops, what happens is they make settlements with the state because they're suing. $50 million, $100 million, $30 million. But guess what? The city can't pay all of that. They can't pay all of the amount of settlements that that's being made against them every year with these various acts of police brutality. So what do? They take out bonds from places like Chase Bank. Let's say Brown Brothers and Harriman. But guess what? Over time, you got to pay it back with interest. So let's stop for a second. Wait. They can't pay all of those settlements. So you got to take bonds from Chase Bank, Brown Brothers and Harriman, and all these other countries to pay off these settlements. But in time, they got to pay it back with interest. So why is that when Jake get killed, never do anything about it? Because they make money off it. Because if Jake got killed by the police and they actually corrected the police, they actually punished for the acts they committed, they wouldn't have to take out bonds to pay those settlements, and they wouldn't have to pay it back with interest, and Chase banks in other countries wouldn't make money. Go type in brutality. These fucking devils is a bunch of damn devils, man. Just type in brutality bonds. You're gonna find it. It's all a business, man. It's all a business. Matter of fact, type in brutality bonds NYC. Somebody type in, you got a phone? Type in brutality bonds New York. See what pops up. Yeah, man, this ain't no joke. Crafty Council. That's why Genesis 3rd chapter says what? He was more subtle than every piece of the film. You see? Fact check interest on police brutality paid with taxes. Wall Street's making millions of police brutality. Vice. How Wall Street profit from police violence. NathanCummins.org. Here's how municipal bonds pay for police brutality settlements. How banks outwash the funds that enable police brutality. How cities offload cost of police brutality. Episode 13. Who from SeriouslyAmericaShow.com. Who profits from police brutality? Come on, man. This ain't no joke.
So that's why that guy, he's Soro, he's in charge of Black Lives Matter, and he's getting, it's like a full circle, and he's getting the money right back.
See, like it says, from Bloomberg.com, it says, I'm just going to skim it a little bit. It says, how cities offload the cost of police brutality. Cities spend tens of millions of dollars on lawsuits over police violence and killings, but municipalities are effectively using residents to mortgage the cost. It's all, come on, other cities should be paying attention. The triple combination shock of pandemic, social unrest, and potential police legal fees seen in Minneapolis could very likely be the future many cities will face, especially those that have a history of police violence. It's all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff. I wish it had it's actually a PDF file that I was reading it on that I had downloaded to my other phone. It was up in like police brutality bonds, or police misconduct bonds, as it's actually known as. You'll find a lot of information on it. They'll give you the year. They tell you 2000 whatever. New York had $187 million in settlements. Jersey had $98 million. California had so and so and so. So they're making money, man. So it said killing members of the group. That's one definition of genocide. Go ahead.
It says causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group.
Did we mention schizophrenia earlier? Causing bodily or mental harm to a group. You had a man named Samuel Cartwright, who was a so-called psychiatrist in the 1800s. He came up with a disease called Japetomania, which means runaway slave madness. In other words, if a slave ran away, he was mentally ill. And the goal to stop him, the cure was to whip the devil out of him. Well, of course, if you whip him, he's gonna fucking stop running away because he's gonna be scared, dumbass. But then if you whip him, he's gonna run away. But if he ran away, he got an illness. That means he's gonna be mad, something wrong with you. That's why they look at us like we got Japetomania, because we spiritually ran away from the master of this world. You see, they look at us like we crazy. Go ahead.
It says deliberately infecting on the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life,
deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life,
calculated to bring about its physical destruction, in whole or in part.
So deliberately bring about conditions of life to bring about the destruction of a group in whole or in part. If you go on Google and type in fast food restaurants, black neighborhoods, you're gonna find out there's 2 times the amount of fast restaurants in our neighborhoods than white neighborhoods. You wonder why Jake got heart disease. Wonder why it's a high level of obesity. Obesity can lead to stomach cancer. These damn devils, a bunch of goddamn devils. But because niggas go outside, oh, I'm hungry, man. McDonald's, Wendy's, White Castle, KFC, Popeyes, Crown Fried Chicken, Mama's Fried Chicken, Papa's Fried Chicken, Obama's Fried Chicken, Kennedy's Fried Chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Church's Chicken. Niggas, and you wonder why these niggas got fucked up hearts, man.
Yeah, bro, like, yo, when you went, when I go from like from the Bronx, and I'm in like certain parts of Manhattan, that's like the first thing I noticed. People in Manhattan, they're in shape. Even though they have the money and shit like that, I don't see that much bullshit like food deserts.
Yeah, exactly. Food deserts is something they use. That's when you're in a place where the food lacks nutrition. Lacks a lot of nutrition. Think about it. Before Esau started gentrifying neighborhoods in Brooklyn, a lot of people didn't even know what the hell a vegan is. What the hell is a vegan? What the hell is vegan meat? Vegan mayonnaise? What the hell is that? You thought cheese was just cheese. You thought cheese was just cheese. Jack didn't know what the hell GMO was. They didn't know what the hell GMO was. They didn't know what the hell a probiotic drinking was. They didn't know what the hell none of this stuff was. Jake thought all chips was made out of potatoes. And now they got kale chips. They got spinach chips. I'm like, what the hell is this? But guess what? Esau had that stuff in the neighborhood. But when Esau comes in our neighborhood, now they gotta put the health stuff in there because they don't want them to undergo what we got to undergo in regards to health. Bringing about conditions of life to harm a group and hold on apart. That's another definition of genocide, man. They even got something called they call it environmental racism. Don't you know in black neighborhoods, Latino neighborhoods, there's a large amount of hydrogen dioxide in the air? You know what that causes? That causes early childhood autism and kidney failure. And you wonder why Jake got early childhood autism and kidney failure. so-called black children are twice as likely to have autism than white children, and like so-called Latino children are 1.5 times more likely to have it than white children, so-called white children. It's all a calculated plot, man. Go ahead.
It says forcibly transferring children of the group to another group.
Forcibly transferring the children of one group to another group. They had something back in the days called the stolen generation in Australia. Now, why was it called the stolen generation? Because back in the 1800s, all the way up until the 1970s, even to this day, we had a large amount of Australian Aboriginal children that were being taken from their families, and they were raising them on white settlements. That's how you destroy the culture of a child, by having them being raised among the people and raised in an environment that's not their own. Imagine if you take a so-called black child, a black guy, boy, girl, and they born and raised in some white neighborhood or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You gonna come out like goddamn Carlton Banks. You have a Carlton Banks spirit. You got a spirit of Carlton Banks. Now, I'm not saying no.
I'm saying, like, they actually have those. You got a lot of like white families who would adopt like a little Asian baby or a little black baby, and they grew up around white people their whole life.
And they reject their own people, their own culture.
That's like heritage warfare.
And then, yeah, we call it a culture side.
Yeah,
Culture side.
Yeah.
The culture side.
And next thing you know, you acting like so-called white man. You resent your own people.
Yeah.
And you think, oh,
Like a lot of people don't know. In the early 90s, you remember they had a movie called Losing Isaiah.
yeah, oh yeah.
And it was a young black boy. His mother was from Cabrini Green Project, one of the worst goddamn projects in the country. And Chicago, that one project alone had like 50 murders in 1 year. Had like 100 something stabbings and shootings. That place is a hellhole. That's where the movie Candyman was at in the 90s, man. Go on Google, type of Cabrini Green, man. Look at the YouTube, go on YouTube, look at Cabrini Green, man. That place is like hell, man. They opened up the damn elevator door, all you saw was blackness in the hallway, man. All you saw was a damn void, man. It's like another damn dimension. It's like the dead zone.
This place is a hellhole, man, for us, man. That's what these people don't understand, yo. Salaki. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
Yeah. Woe to them that call evil good. Woe to them that call evil good. That's what Esau do. And even now people in other nations, they call evil good. Think that's evil. I said, oh, this is good. When we talking about saying it's evil, they'll say it's good. Man, who's going after the Popeyes over here, and the Crown Fried Chicken over here, and the KFC over here, and the McDonald's over here, and the Rings over here, and the White Castles over here, and the Five Guys over here, and the In-N-Out over here, and a fucking whatever the hell else, chain restaurant over there, a Japanese restaurant over there, a Korean restaurant over here. Who's going with that, man? You ain't gotta walk nowhere. Well, that's right, nigga. Your ass ain't getting no exercise. You ain't eating that garbage. That's why you so damn fat. Always want to eat out, man. Nigga always want to eat out. We get Chinese, man. Niggas always want some damn General Tso chicken, man. That shit got demons on it, man. Niggas
Every real chicken, it's like it.
Huh? Yeah.
It's not even real chicken.
You eating mouse. But you actually can't make General Tso chicken at home. You actually can't do that with actual chicken breasts. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about doing that. Because I could do that. You know why? Because I work out regularly. Unlike you Negroes out there. You niggas don't know what a burpee is, man. You say burpee, you say, oh, you mean that thing you eat after you, that thing you do after you eat fried chicken and drink a Sprite? No, not a burp, idiot. A burpee. Because niggas is stupid. What nigga know?
I got more. All right. Woe unto them that call evil good and call good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness.
Same thing. Things that's light, they call it darkness. Things that's darkness, they call it light. Go ahead, brother.
Right. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Just telling you all the same thing over and over again, right? Go ahead. Back to the other
This place is out of order. This place is out of order.
Yeah.
And it says, the last one says, condemnation.
Oh no, transfer of children.
Forcibly transferring children of the group to another group.
Now I remember what I was saying before. They made a movie called Losing Isaiah. I got off topic and I started talking about Cabrini Green. They made a movie called Losing Isaiah. And in the movie Losing Isaiah, Halle Berry was the mother, and they was at Cabrini Green Projects. She left her child like in a dumpster or something like that, and it was picked up by a garbage man. And if I'm not mistaken, then eventually the child wound up being adopted by a white family, right? And basically what happened was the child, when she got her child back, the child was crying all the time because the child wasn't used to her. The child was probably 2-3 years old and wasn't used to her. Now you gotta ask yourself a question: why did they make that movie Losing Isaiah? Type in Losing Isaiah on Google, the single year that came out, and I want you to type in multi-ethnic placement act. Because we know what we're talking about up there. What year was that?
It came out in 1995.
Good. Now type in multi-ethnic placement act. Or say it on Google, whatever. Placement act.
Yeah. It says, Kalia Richards, who's Halle Berry, a crack addict single mother.
Oh, see, she a crackhead. A black woman, she a cracker. So for one, we already gotta have. Look at the word dichotomy. Look at the word dichotomy. D-I-T. I believe it's C-O-T-O. And what? So she was a crackhead. Go ahead.
Dichotomy, a division or contrast between two things that are or are represented as being opposed or entirely different.
A division or contrast between two things that looked at as if they're opposing to one another or entirely different. So she's a crackhead, but the white chick wasn't no damn crackhead. She was from the projects. She's from the suburbs. She's from the hood. The black woman was from the hood. The white woman from the suburbs. The black woman from the projects. The white woman on her own. The black woman was poor. The white woman was an opposite as well. Go ahead.
It says a crack addict single mother accidentally leaves her baby in a dumpster while high and returns the next day into a panic to find he is missing. In reality,
Losing Isaiah. Right? But y'all don't understand. But see, niggas don't understand this because niggas is niggas. Who a nigga know? Right?
in reality,
Nigga don't know his ass from his fucking toenail. Right?
in reality, the baby has been adopted by a warm-hearted social worker, Margaret Lewin.
Warm-hearted. She's so sweet. See, she's warm-hearted because the black woman left her baby in a dumpster, but the white woman, oh, she's just so warm-hearted. See, that's a dichotomy. Huh? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, read.
By a warm-hearted social worker, Margaret Lewin, and her husband, Charles. Years later,
So-called Edomites. I mean, so-called white people who are Edomites.
Years later, Kalia has gone through rehab and holds a steady job after learning that her child is still alive. She challenges Margaret for the custody.
So, when we understand, this woman is a crackhead, oh, but a warm-hearted white woman.
That's her too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, oh, such a warm-hearted white woman adopts the child. So we see the dichotomy. You see the opposing thing that's different. One woman is white, one woman is black. One woman is a crackhead who left her child in the dumpster, cold-hearted, disregarding her own child. But another one is warm. Let me adopt a black baby. So what do you see? They painting the picture. Look, everybody, these black women can't raise their kids, but white people can raise them right. Read that and ask you again. Now, when we put it together for right now, I didn't read this in the lecture. The Spirit just had me think about it one day. So I just started typing in adoption laws, and this is what the Spirit had me find.
That's right.
Right?
This is the Multi-Ethnic Placement Act.
Yep.
An amendment, an act in 1994.
Okay.
And known as the MEPA.
Okay.
Or the MPAIE, the MEPA/IEP, to acknowledge the amendment passed in 1996.
Stop. To acknowledge the amendment passed in 1996. What year that movie came out?
1995.
So this came out a year after the movie. That's a coincidence? That's a coincidence? No. Losing Isaiah was nothing more than the big. Losing Isaiah was nothing more than the big promotion of we gotta get these black babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. What just happened recently? They took the I don't know if she was a celebrity. They took her baby right in. They brought the police. Took the baby while they was in the car and was filming it.
Yeah, that's it.
What was that video?
My husband was driving, right?
Yeah, they came with the police and I'm so Salaki elder, and they took the baby. Like you said, they gotta figure out a way to get these black babies.
Yeah, this was like a month ago.
Yeah, yeah. So the elder's right.
You mean tell me you can't adopt no Arab kids?
Oh, what goes into covert? What you was talking about earlier. This is the new secret way of taking babies from families.
Exactly.
Israelite babies.
Exactly.
Oh, right around back what you said. Bam.
Before they said, get on this shit.
Yeah.
Before they said, we're gonna take y'all native children and put you on the Carlisle boarding schools. See, a lot of people don't know. Type in when the slave trade, what year did the slave trade end? I think it ended 1804. A lot of people don't know that.
Can I read a little more of this?
Yeah.
Look what it says. It says, all right, prohibiting child welfare agencies to receive federal funding from for delaying or denying foster or adoption placements.
Now,
Oh, that was. I don't know what
now
I'm trying to get to.
I want you
So they got this all a plan to get your children and to get money for them too.
now here's CWLA. Now, I want you to read it. I want you to read it here. Now this one is CWLA.org. Read it out. 1804, something like that.
1808.
Okay, let me read it real quick, brother.
Okay.
It says the transatlantic slave
This is
trade
on Google.
was abolished in the United States from January 1st, 1808.
So
However,
the slave trade was abolished. Stop. The trade was, not slavery. Let's get that in our heads.
Wow.
Slavery so going to end in 1865. But the slave trade was said that ended in 1808. Because there was a point in time when they could no longer bring slaves from Africa to the United States. So what they started to do was started to bring slaves from certain parts of the country to other parts of the country. We would take some slaves from Texas and we're going to bring some over here to Virginia. We could take some slaves over here from Tennessee and we're going to bring some over here to Georgia. We could take some slaves from Georgia and we're going to bring them over here to Louisiana. Right,
it says, however,
or New Orleans, or Louisiana, is the state, right?
however, some slaving continued on an illegal basis for the next 50 years. One popular subterfuge
Subterfuge is using deceit in order to achieve one's goal. You gotta stop these Latinos from coming over the border, man. But wait a minute, stop. What's the real reason why they want to stop them? They'll tell you, oh, they're gonna take our jobs. They're violent. No, you dumbasses. They'll tell you they're gonna take your jobs. They'll tell you it's because you're violent. Because they're violent because they're gonna take your jobs. And in doing so, they'll get the American people to be on their side to accept the actual building of a wall to prevent them from coming in. But that's how you get the American people on your side, but that's deceitful. Subterfuge using deceit in order to achieve one's goal. So that's a deception. To get the American people to be behind it, that's a deception. But what's the real goal they want to achieve? Latinos have more babies than everyone else in the country. So if you let a bunch of them in the country, what happens? But when they will get married and they're going to become citizens, have children, the children going to become citizens, they will have babies and have more babies, and they're going to bring more of them about, right?
No, I was just saying like they're going to just depopulate a lot.
Exactly. And they don't want that. So how can we do this but have the American people on our side without seeming racist? Oh, easy. Make the American people think that this is going to take the job. And you know America with the job taking, you know what? Yeah, you're right. They'll show you commercials of Mexicans sitting in Home Depot waiting to work.
Yeah.
See, they non-union workers. You don't want that, do you? That's how these fucking crackers operate, man.
Covert.
Don't trust these damn devils.
Back to what you said, covert.
Go back to what you reading. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's why they push them white celebrities adopting black babies, man. That's why they made that movie Losing Isaiah. That's why they think about it. You turn around, oh, Jillian Michaels, the workout broad. She got a black baby. Oh, Madonna got a black baby. Oh, Angelina Jolie got a black baby. I think Golden Body had got a black baby or something like that. Charlize Theron. Everybody got a black kid. Somebody from Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, that movie that made famous where that white lady adopted the black football player.
Oh yeah, The Blind Side.
Yeah, and then it became a trend. You had a lot of white families that started adopting little black boys to put them in the NFL.
Exactly. And you gotta stop. This is why these devils need to be exterminated. You devils, it's the end of your world. But that's what it is. You gotta think about that. Like, think about it, brother. I never seen so many white people with black babies. But why though? Because with these television shows, with these movies, now that's a television show. I remember what made me research all of this. To the spirit. I was in the house one day, I was going to the bathroom, and one of the brothers in the camp, their niece was watching TV. She probably was like maybe like 11, 12 or something like that. And I'm walking to the bathroom, I glanced at the TV, it was Saturday morning, and I saw a little white woman and a little black boy walking through the woods. And it said, I heard a voice that said, my new mom and I said, my new mom, I literally backed up. Like I walk, you see right now, I'm walking, keep him right there. You see how I'm walking past the camera? Imagine that's TV. I did this. I walked back, said, you see my new mom and I? And then the end of the commercial said, adoptuskids.org. Why show a white woman with a little black boy? Saying that's my new mother. To promote it, man. The more you promote it, people become desensitized to it. DE is a prefix meaning away or from. Sensitive means easily affected. So desensitized or desensitization, which ION is a suffix, which means a state or a condition. Destabilization. Okay? Maturation, you're mature. You're in a state of being mature. Colonization, you're in a state of being colonized. Emancipation, you're in a state of being emancipated or set free. So ION is a suffix meaning a state or a condition. So when they say, when I say desensitization, it means away from being in a state of, away from being in a state of being easily affected. If your arm is sensitive because you got a messed up wrist, messed up elbow, and somebody touches you going like that, because it's sensitive, it's the slightest thing going to cause a reaction. So the more you see these white people doing this, the more and more it becomes a common thing. It's normal, right? Normal. So now you're walking through black neighborhoods, you got a fucking white man walking around with a black baby on his chest, man. You on a damn train, you got these damn devils walking around with our babies in a stroller. Adopt your own kids, man. Fucking devils and these stupid ass black niggas, they don't know what's going on. This is all a setup, man. It's all a setup. Don't it make sense? Does this make sense to you? Does this make sense to y'all? Huh? Hey, man.
They can't do it out in the open, like slavery, like you said, just go put us on slave ships. So now they got doing it by documents.
Type it is easy to adopt black babies. Go on your phone, Google says it's easy to adopt black babies.
I'll read this for you.
Black babies easier to adopt.
The multi-ethnic placement act
is CWLA.org. We're gonna find or .com.
Yep.
We're gonna find out what it is exactly.
That's right. MEPA was an act in 1994 with the goal to promote the best interest for children by ensuring the best interest of children by ensuring that they have
have permanent, safe, and stable family as a whole. Jump down right here where it says African American.
Okay.
Particular African American.
Yeah. This. All right. Okay. What you say?
That says particular concern.
All right. Particular concern are African Americans.
You gotta find holes for these kids.
And other minorities.
A particular concern is African Americans, blacks, Israelites, tribe of Judah, and other minorities.
And other minority children
Israelites.
who are domesticated over represented.
Who are dramatically overrepresented at all stages of this system.
The debate.
So all stages of adoption, they're saying they were overrepresented. In other words, we're in the adoption agency, child care services more than anyone else. Go ahead.
The debate concern in 1994 was that the children was being denied placement due to an reliance of policies that's bullshit. That emphasized placement that take into account racial and ethnic makeup, and to
Of the prospective adopted family.
of the prospective adopted family.
Now here's the point. Go ahead.
Perhaps prohibited that
MIPA.
to use
MIPA. Right, the party
oh
said
MEPA MEPA
Multi-Ethnic Placement Act.
Yes.
Go ahead.
prohibited to use the child or the
Or prospective.
prospective parent race, color, or
MIPA prohibited the use. It didn't allow.
yeah, because they like the same race. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
MIPA prohibited the use of a child or a prospective parent's race, color, or national origin to delay or deny the child's placement. And required diligent efforts to expand the number of racially adoptive parents.
Yeah.
What the hell that sound like?
Like racist.
They said, yo, we gotta prohibit, we can't allow the race of a parent, the race of the child, the national origin, or the ethnic group to delay adoption. In other words, we have to make it easier for a person of one race to adopt somebody of another race. But then after all, African Americans and minorities are heavily in the adoption agency.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to adopt them. So what we gotta do is, we gotta make it easier for them to be adopted. How do we make it easier for them to be adopted? Let's make the multi-ethnic placement act, multi-ethnic, multi-many ethnic ethnicity placement act. Let's allow these children to be placed, let's make an act to allow the placement of multi-ethnic groups of people. Let's let a white person adopt a black person. Let's let a Chinese person adopt a Puerto Rican. Let's let a Puerto Rican adopt a white person. Let's let that happen. That's what it was all about. That's why now you see what? White people adopting black babies. Why you don't see them adopting Chinese?
So, since you mentioned that, I found an article that says why adopting black babies costs less than adopting white babies.
Come on, man. These damn devils, a bunch of damn devils, and you don't trust these damn devils. Damn devils.
I'm gonna just jump right down to it. It says, it says children of color are devalued at all stages of life.
Because you got damn crackers. Yeah. That's why. If you go on Google and type in, light skinned black smart. Light skinned black smart. Go ahead. See something from Bible.com.
It says, as an adoptive father, I learned this begins before many take their first breath. It says, consider this. Based on statistics from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, there are nearly 60 black children for every Asian child in foster care.
Now we see that? 60? God damn, we can't take our kids at all, but when you look it up, you'll find out. When you go deeper, you'll find out that for the same situation where a black child is taken away from his family, under the same situation, the white child be kept with the family. So if a black child got a drug addict mom, oh, sorry, we gotta take the baby. My baby. But if a white woman is on heroin with a goddamn meth lab right next to her with some cocaine in between her damn toes,
She get all the help she needs.
she could keep the damn baby.
It says, yet Asian children are adopted at a higher rate than black children.
But why is that? Because of the way you depict us in the media. Who don't want to adopt them black niggas? Them niggas always killing somebody. Man.
It says, in fact, the Institution for Family Studies reported that despite being disproportionately represented in foster care, the rate of adoption for black children decreased over 60% from 2009 to 2011. So it's kind of like a perfect example is when a store is going out of business and everything is on sale. It's like they want you to buy this product so bad they keep lowering the price.
Yeah.
50% off,
Yeah.
60% off,
These niggas.
70% off.
Exactly.
Because nobody
A
wants,
discount.
nobody wants to adopt them. So they're like, fuck it, man, just hit $1.
Yeah, just take it. The monkey. Yeah, that's what they feel. I even looked up and found out in the spirit. Don't you know light-skinned Jakes are more adopted, like you adopted than dark-skinned ones, man? A light-skinned girl will be adopted first. Then I think it's a light-skinned boy. Then it's a dark-skinned boy. Then it's a dark-skinned. No, there's a dark-skinned girl. Then it's a dark-skinned boy. The boys is at the bottom. It's either light-skinned girl, light-skinned boy, then dark-skinned girl, dark-skinned boy, or it's light-skinned girl, or it's light-skinned girl, dark-skinned girl, light-skinned boy, dark-skinned boy. They look more white.
time they stay in adoption or looking for a parent, they end up more going to like jail or picking up drugs, because the more time they end up in a foster parents, like in a clinic or in a home, waiting for a parent, the more there be chances for them to become criminal, because they don't have no guidance. So they'll end up in a jail somewhere.
That's what so what?
That's the spirit right there. I just found something. It says that white people go to rehab and black people go to jail.
That's what they do. If you find a white person with drugs on them, they'll send them to rehab.
Yeah.
Like the Amy Winehouse. Remember that song?
Yeah.
You won't have no black person making that song trying to make you go to rehab. No, they're trying to put you in cuffs.
This is from Vox.com. Study: lighter skinned black and Hispanic people look smarter to white people.
See that? So guess what? So these damn devils, I look stupid. This brother looks smart. That nigga dumb. See him? This nigga dumb. That's how they think, man. That's the reason why you have to exterminate all white people. The solution is to exterminate all white people, brother. You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
You agree with that? You agree with that?
Let's play with him a little bit.
You agree with that?
You should.
Huh?
I want to kick him around.
You agree with that? The solution to exterminate all white people?
Yeah.
You agree with that?
I want to play with him.
Huh? You agree with that? I can't hear you, brother.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The solution to exterminate all white people, man. That's the solution. That's it. That's right. You can't trust them, man. And they think that we just saying, no, the Most High, this is in the Bible. We ain't saying it. He ain't saying it. The Bible's saying it. They think we gonna go, and just roll the Bible. And just start putting stuff in it. This stuff's in your own Bibles at home. Man.
This is Obadiah 1 verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end of every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
I really ask one of these white people, they're going to be cut off by slaughter. We're going to slaughter them. We're going to cut their heads off, cut their feet off, cut their toes. We're not going to cut your leg off. We're going to cut your toes off. We're going to cut your feet off. We're going to cut your leg off at the knee. We're going to cut your leg off at the waist. We're going to cut your fingers off.
That's right.
No, fuck, forget that. Before you cut your toes off and your fingers off, you're going to rip your nails off. You're going to peel them backwards. Yeah. That's what Pol Pot used to do. He used to pull their fingernails off. I think they used to pour alcohol on their fingers, man. We're going to torture y'all, man. If you was working in the rice fields and you ate a grain of rice, what you do? They cut your stomach open and take the grain of rice out. Right. Back in the 60s and the 70s, man. That's what Pol Pot used to do. But that's what we're going to do.
Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Violence against brother Jacob. Esau is the white race, according to the Bible. According to the Bible, we all have biblical identities. You think Puerto Rico just popped up out of nowhere? Well, it did. But you think the people popped up out of nowhere? No. These people on the side, people throughout the world, we were always around. We just didn't get created last month, 100 years ago. We always been around. But there were names that God called us, but the names that the white man in the world called us, going back thousands of years ago. Go ahead, bro.
It says, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Shame gonna cover these devils for their wickedness. But then guess what? They're gonna be cut off forever. Exterminate. Right. That's why you damn devils, a bunch of damn devils, we're gonna exterminate you devils. Like the devils that you are. Damn devils. Right?
This is Isaiah chapter 14.
I just like saying devil, man. Sorry, brothers. I like saying devil.
Well, if I may say the word devil, El Diablo, they're slanderer. Yeah. They've been slandering us and wickedly. Yeah. We doing this righteously. We're not slandering you. We rebuking you.
Yeah.
We condemning you. In the name of, I'm sorry. In the name of Yahweh Shemel Shah.
Yep.
So we're not doing nothing wrong. We're doing it in righteousness. You the wicked judge. We the righteous judge.
And when you slander somebody, you smearing their good name. You ain't got a good name. No. You got a scripture. Hold on.
Isaiah 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
So we can prepare slaughter for Esau's children, for the iniquity of their fathers. But guess what? They saw their father come back in the reincarnation. What was the iniquity that put us in slavery? Right?
That they do not rise nor possess the land.
Not only was that the iniquity, on everything else they could tell, like we're speaking on. That they do not rise nor possess the land. They used to don't rise up, they don't get older, conquer and possess land. In other words, you gotta cut them off at the knees, man. So I was going to tell you, in Malachi, I believe, it's going to be left neither root nor branch. A root or a branch is what comes from a seed that's planted in the earth. And eventually that tree, that seed takes root. It grows branches. So if no root or branch is going to be left, guess what? It's going to be no more offspring.
It also says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Because a lot of people like to say, oh, that was in the past, that happened already. That's old news. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So Esau, Edom, okay, you Edomites have to pay for the iniquity of your fathers, okay, your forefathers. How did you get this land? It says that they do not rise nor possess the land. You stole this land. So you're not going to rise up again. You're not going to steal no other land. There's not going to be no other kingdom established on earth after this kingdom is destroyed.
Other than the kingdom of heaven, of course. We can't wait to exterminate the fucking devil, because the devil's a bunch of goddamn devils.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Yeah, so he's not gonna put a place in the world with cities. It's not gonna be no more France. Oh, we go to France and Paris. You know? Like he's like, oh, we're going to Paris. None of that crap. Spain, Italy, Greece. It's not gonna be none of that. Yeah, brother.
Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts.
Yeah, devils.
And cut off from Babylon the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord.
Notice that remnant and son and nephew, they say daughter and niece. Son and nephew, because they're males. They bring forth children. Men are the ones that are pregnant women will bring forth our seed. Seed go back to the Greek word sperma. You remove the egg and sperm, how you get sperm. Yeah, brother.
I got that.
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah chapter Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broke? That's right. The devil. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation amongst the nations? And that's people. Nations is people. So how has he become a desolation? By the missiles, the chariots, and at the end when we put them all in that bonfire, like the elder brother said, they gotta be exterminated. Cause they gonna still have pride when we gotta always beat their ass. We gotta beat them. The only thing is,
once America is destroyed, America will be destroyed, but guess what? Them damn devils in Europe still gonna be alive. Yeah. They're still gonna be around. All the men gonna be dead. And they still got that spirit of pride in them. So guess what? You gotta put in South Africa too. They didn't took that over.
Yeah, they took that shit off.
They think that you got people that think South Africa, but that's how these damn devils operate, because the devils is devils. Go to the book of Maccabees, first chapter. Get first Maccabees 1.
Oh shoot, I'm gonna say this a lot.
Get first Maccabees 1, man. Oh man.
I got
devil.
I got it quoted.
Go ahead, read.
This is Malachi 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven.
Daniel 11 chapter. Let's speak about the king of the south and the king of the north. Somebody give me Daniel 11 chapter. Let's say king of the south, king of the north. We'll go into that a little bit. Go ahead.
This is Malachi 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud
that's the day of nuclear destruction. America's destruction. Go ahead. Somebody go on their phone and type in Diadochi. Diadochi. Go ahead, brother.
And all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be a stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up.
There you go.
Saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
That's why the brother read the last scripture said, don't leave no remnant, son or nothing. It's time right in. the word Diadochi? No, Diadochi.
Diadochi.
D-I-A-D-O-C-H-I. Got it? D-I-A.
C-H.
C-H-O. I mean, D-I-A-D-O. C-H-I. There you go. Diadochi.
Diadochi.
Good. Hold that down. Now, what you got?
You say you want Daniels? Daniels 11?
Yeah, I want to Mac. You got Papa.
I got Mac.
He got Mac.
Got Maccabee 1. Who's in the top?
Okay, this is the book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1.
Daniel 11 and 1. Where it talks about
And
the
it
king of
happened
the south.
after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten
Chetam or Shittim. Shittim. C-H-I-T-T-I-M. Go ahead.
had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
So Darius, the Persian, king of the Medes, I believe fought 3 battles with Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Great as he's commonly known. And I believe the last battle was the battle, type in Battle of Gaugamela real quick. Battle of Gaugamela. You can say it on Google, just say it. Right? Battle of Gaugamela. It says the final battle. What does that say?
It says Battle of Gaugamela, October 1st, 331 BC. It says the Battle of Gaugamela, also called the Battle of Arbela, was a battle that took place in 331 BC between the forces of the army of the Macedon, of the Macedon under Alexander the Great, and the Persian army under King Darius III.
I'm gonna see real quick, see if I can find the last battle. I believe it was the final battle. Here you go right here, worldhistory.org, Battle of Gaugamela, World History Encyclopedia. Once you read it, says the Battle of Gaugamela, 1st October 331 BCE, which means before Common Era, also known as the Battle of Arbela, was the final meeting between Alexander the Great of Macedon and King Darius III of Persia. After this victory, Alexander was without question king of all Asia. Gaugamela means the camel's house. So it says was a village on the banks of the river Humudus. The site of the battle was thought to be Tel Gomel, like Gamal. What that means in Hebrew? Camel. Hebrew camel's mount in northern Iraq. So we know the word Gaugamela means camel's mount or camel's house. The camel's house. And it took place October 331 BC. So read that again.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1.
I
And
think Shittim is Spain. I think Shittim. C-H-I-T-T-I-M. I think Shittim is Spain. Yeah.
and it
Shittim is Spain? Shittim. It's like Shittim. C-H-I-T-T-I-M. Read it, bro.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian,
Because he was assassinated. I believe he was assassinated at a wedding or after a wedding. Some say his wife or Alexander the Great's mother and Alexander conspired to kill him.
they poisoned him.
No, I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
In the movie, I think it was at a wedding. The father just
Yeah.
dropped.
I believe it was poison, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Right?
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip.
Just Spain ain't that? Happened today. Shittim today.
It's spelled like this.
That's how it's spelled.
C-H-E.
Okay.
It's Turkey King.
That's it though.
That's it.
Shittim. It says was a settlement in present-day Larnaca on the east coast of Cyprus. Here you go.
The Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
So he smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, at the battle of Gaugamela, October 1st, 331 BC. Right? And that's why when you go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, it speaks about the lion with eagles. I'm sorry, not the lion with eagles, but the leopard. The leopard with 4 heads. We've had 4 heads and eagle's wings. That's talking about Alexander. Why do you have wings? A bird flies high. This is called the bird's eye view. Because a bird can fly high, and the higher you are, the greater mass of land you can see. So that leopard had 4 heads, representing his 4 generals. The leopard skin that Alexander would wear when going to battle, and the wing represented the massive land that Alexander had dominion over. That's why I said after the Battle of Greatmillstone, he was the undisputed king of all Asia. Did I read that? Go ahead. Undoubtedly the king of all Asia. Go ahead.
That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
He reigned in his stead the first over Greece, the first ruler of his kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds.
Battle of Thermopylae, the Battle of Greatmillstone, he won many wars and took many strongholds. Go ahead.
And slew the kings of the earth.
Yes, he did. Darius was wonderful. Go ahead.
And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
It was quiet. It was scared. Like even Drake said that now, that's like a new term Drake used. Yeah, when I came up in the spot, man, they was on that rowdy shit. When I came up in there, she was quiet. In other words, nobody said nothing. It was humble. It was scared. You heard Drake say that before, right? Yeah, bro.
Whereupon
the person is quiet, they're scared. No. No. Yeah.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
In pride, right?
Verse 4, and he gathered a mighty
his heart meaning his mind was lifted up, exalted in pride. Go ahead, brother.
And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, and became tributaries unto him.
Type in Alexander the Great Aristotle. I believe it was Aristotle that taught him in the school. Yeah, I like Alexander the Great Aristotle.
He knew Hebrew too.
Got anything?
Yeah.
See? Okay. Alright, so hold that down, get ready. Here you go.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries
strong host meaning army. Go ahead.
And nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
They had to pay him taxes, they had to honor him.
And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth.
He called his servants who were honorable and were brought up with him from his youth. Now the Bible ain't gonna tell you all of it, they ain't telling you everything. Because every verse don't tell you everything. You gotta do outside research.
Right.
Read that.
It said
brought up with him from his youth, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, read that.
In 343 BCE,
334 BC, which is 13 years before the Battle of Greatmillstone. Go ahead. So Alexander was a young man at this time. He was a teenager at this time. Go ahead.
Aristotle was summoned by King Philip II.
Aristotle was summoned by King Philip II, Alexander's father. Go ahead.
Of Macedon, to tutor his son Alexander, and held this post for the next 7 years.
I believe the school is called, in the place called Maize, M-A-I-Z, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, it was called Maize, right?
Until Alexander ascended to the throne in 336 BCE and began his famous conquest.
Now, type in Maize, M-A-I-Z. Keep them same words up there. Just type in M-A-I-Z, M-A-I-Z-E, right now. Because that told you stuff, but it didn't tell you every little thing.
The brief history of
Nice.
Huh?
M-A-I-Z-E.
Yeah, but I believe it was a place called Maize. Maybe it's no A. Maybe it's no A. Let's see. Alexander the Great. Okay, it says, see if I can find it real quick. Alexander the Great. M-A-I-Z-E. Means. I'm talking Aristotle. Hometown. It says he was born in Stygia, but I believe it was a school. I believe it was a school called Maize. Damn, I'm trying to find it.
That's what him and the general was taught at?
As young men, yes. Yep.
Put in the school Alexander.
Yeah, but I don't think they actually had a name. I don't think it was actually. In fact, hold on, real quick. Aristotle. Philip. So now it's kind of popping up. I can't find it. But I believe it was in a place called Maze. But basically, Aristotle asked him to basically tutor his son. See, I type it in rebuild, and it says Maze right there. For some reason, I don't want to pop up. But basically, to make a long story short, basically he was going to teach Alexander, and in return, I guess it was Stygia. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. But it said, nonetheless, the two men came to an agreement. Aristotle would instruct Alexander, and in return, Philip would rebuild Stygia and resettle with citizens. So basically, in return, he was going to tutor Alexander the Great, and in return, Philip II of Macedon was going to rebuild his hometown in return. But guess what? Alexander was taught at that school, but other people was taught there too. I believe Hephaestion was taught there. I believe, go back where it says Aristotle and Alexander, and type in Ptolemy. Keep your phones out. Or have them ready. Ptolemy, Ptolemy. I believe he was taught with Alexander.
Aristotle, Ptolemy?
Yeah. Aristotle told me.
Yeah, I got this 4 generals right here.
Yeah, I have it on deck. Well, they ain't got everything here. You gotta look at other places for it.
The 4 generals.
But basically, when you go into it, you find out that Alexander had many of his friends who were actually oh, here you go right there. I got it right here. One second, brother. Now the page will load up. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can find it. I don't wanna search. Wait 1 second. Okay, here it goes. It says see right on this website right here, it says he may have been one of the students. It says he was a few years older than Alexander. His ultimate childhood. He may have even been the group of notable teenagers tutored by Aristotle. This from Ptolemy, the first side of Greek founder of Egypt, Ptolemaic dynasty. Now notice that it may have been one of his notable friends. I would say notable because people that he was tutored with as a young man grew up to be notable people. I believe Hephaestion was one of them who was tutored by Alexander by Aristotle. So in other words, what happened was, when Alexander was a young man, many of his generals were actually his childhood friends. They went to school with him, and they was actually tutored alongside of him. And they grew up to become his generals. So in the school, they would teach them things like military warfare, along with philosophy and various other things. Go ahead. What you got?
I got your mace. The mace.
Go ahead. What's it? Okay, I'm thinking of Mesa. It says in 343, Philip II hired the philosopher Aristotle to tutor Alexander at the temple of the Nymphs at Mesa. That's where it was. M-E-I-Z-A. I thought it was M-A-I-Z-E. It's M-E-I-Z-A. I got the A's and the E mixed up. So it's called the Temple of Nymphs at Mesa. It's been like about 5 or 6 years since I last looked that up. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
So now we understand, and then type in Aristotle, Alexander, solutions. See what pops up. See if solutions was tweetable.
And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth.
From his youth. So you had people that was taught with him from his youth. Somebody pass my phone right there so I can look it up. You know, that brother's got to get in the habit of researching. When you research, you got to know how to put in certain keywords to find certain things. But you're only going to know how to do that if you do it on a consistent basis. If you research once every 6 months, you're not going to be able to find nothing. It got to be a consistent thing. So it's Alexander had generals that was raised up from his youth. Who got the word diadochi? We gotta find out what Diadochi means.
Diadochi were the rival generals, families, and friends of Alexander the Great.
See, they were rival, what?
Rival generals, families, and friends of Alexander the Great.
Now notice it said rival, friends, families, and generals of Alexander the Great. Why would it say rival? Because when Alexander died, you had the wars of the Diadochi that lasted for 40 years. I don't know if it says that. Keep reading.
Who fought for control over his empire after his death in 323 BCE.
So in 323 BC, they started to fight for control. Keep reading, brother.
Verse 6, wherefore he called his servants such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them.
So you gonna rule here, you gonna rule this, you gonna rule that, you gonna rule that.
While he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place.
Which was actually like a year, it was actually like 11 years and I believe 8 months. He actually reigned, it just rounded it off. Like David was the king of, I believe, of Judah or Hebron, I think for 7.5 years. Was the king of Israel for 33 years. That's really 40.5 years. But when you read the scriptures, it'll say 40 years, if you look it up.
And his servants bear rule everyone in his place. And after
his servants bear rule everyone in his place.
Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years.
So after his death, they all put crowns upon their heads.
And evils. So did their sons after them many years.
So did their sons after them many years. So when he died, they put crowns upon themselves, and then their children did it. Meaning what? This was a generational thing. This is a generational rulership. Okay.
And after Salakia, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
And evils multiplied in the earth. It's not talking about homosexuals. Even though the Greeks were homosexuals, that's not really what it's talking about. It's really talking about the 40 years of wars of the Diadochi. It's like you got the script you got to ask for?
I got Diadochi right in this. This is
he's reading that right now.
Oh, solution.
That's what else?
Oh no, for Alexander's solution.
Yeah.
Seleucus, if I didn't pronounce that right. Seleucus in September 281 BC, ancient Greek. It says Seleucus was the Greek general.
Hey, go right here.
Diadochi.
Yep.
All right.
And that's
of Alexander.
That's Seleucus. You got Seleucus the first, Seleucus the second, so on and so forth. Now check this out real quick. Now this is from the Wikipedia, right?
Yep.
Let me put this out real quick.
Oh wow.
It says Mesa was like a border school for Alexander and the children of Macedonian nobles, such as Ptolemy, Hephaestion, and Cassander. You always heard the elders say Ptolemy, Seleucus, Cassander, that's Americus.
Yeah.
But they was tutored with Alexander when he was a young boy. So when it says his friends, when it says people that were brought up from the youth, that's what it's talking about. He set up some of them to be generals. It says Hephaestion. You go to Hephaestion, Wikipedia, it says he was by far the dearest of all the king's friends. He had been brought up with Alexander and shared all the secrets. So, and it says, son of Amytor was an ancient Macedonian nobleman and a general in the army of Alexander the Great. So these are people that are actually, see now it sheds more light on the scripture now. Now type in Diadochi Wars. Type in Diadochi Wars. You know that actually get multiplied in the earth. Type in Diadochi Wars. What we gotta do is type in wars at Diadochi if we already had that thing. Now let them know one of them do.
And there came out of them a wicked root.
Now go up a little bit, go.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years.
So guess what? That's why you only had the Seleucid line, the Ptolemaic line of Cassander, the line of Elias because you got that Diadochi Wars.
The war of the Diadochis or wars of Alexander's successors.
What? Just read that?
Yeah.
That's what even multiplied on earth. They ain't talking about faggots and lesbians. Yeah, faggots, we got transgender. That's what they're talking about. You had faggots back then in ancient Greece. That ain't what it's really going into. It's about those wars that was taking place. That lasted like for years. Go ahead, brother.
The wars of the
yeah, the line of the Ptolemaic line, Ptolemy stole Alexander's body. It was stuck in a corpse. Go ahead.
The war of the Diadochi, or wars of Alexander's successors, was a series of conflicts that were fought between generals of Alexander the Great. They disputed over rule of his empire following his death.
See? Evil multiplied on earth. Don't that make sense?
Yeah, now.
It ain't say fucking cause justice and shit. But if they was doing that, that was really going on. That was really going on. Yeah. But it's talking about the wars. There's more to that, brother?
The fighting occurred between 322 to 281 BC.
322 to
that's a lot of years.
322 to what?
To 281 BC.
So you got 312, 302, 392, 382 is 40 years. That's 41 years. Of killing. 41 years of killing. That's almost a half a century.
It says evil came upon the earth, right?
Yeah,
that's serious. That's serious of death.
That's
bad
evil times.
Evil bad times. Bad times.
A lot of wars, a
yeah.
lot of death.
A lot of death.
Yeah, you can imagine how many evils was going on, man. They just started killing each other. Yeah. The world's greatest military, they started killing each other.
Yeah.
Raven
wolves.
Raven wolves.
Raven wolves. Yeah.
The world's greatest military started killing these kids. You know, they started killing each other. You sitting there drinking wine, eating a roll. You know, sitting drinking wine, eating a roll.
That's how gravity works.
God next to you like this. He come with a sword. He stabbed you to death, man. Yeah. That's how it's going down. Yeah, bro.
That was
that's it?
That was it.
Whatever website that is, go to that website and you can look at more of that stuff. Then you will learn. It says,
oh, I had that.
King of the South. There you go.
Okay.
Alright. Where did we get it first? Daniel 11:11.
All right, this is Daniel 11, verse 11. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler and shall come forth
with bitterness. Look at the word choler real quick. Make sure we got the word there. See what that means. CHOLER. Okay. What does choler mean? Anger, irritability, or generally a bad temper. It's from dictionary.com. Go ahead. So he was angry and mad. They disputed over his territory. You just read that. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
It says, and the king of the south shall be moved with choler and shall come forth and fight with him.
The king of the south. Who's the king of the south talking about? That's talking about that Syrian line. That line that came from Syria, which is what? That's the Lucian line, which reigned in Syria. Why did it say south? It's talking about down south. We're going down, man. They ain't talking about that. It's talking about what? Syria. Why? Because Syria was south of Israel. That's why you're at the king of the south. They ain't talking about T.I. The nigga read that, oh, that's talking about T.I. And some asshole will listen to a camera song on YouTube where he said he could computers Putin. This dickhead say, yeah, that was a camera prophet. That's talking about Vladimir Putin because he hacked the elections. I said, this nigga's stupid as hell, man. But it said king of the south. He's the king of the south because he's the king, that's that Seleucid line which reigned from Syria, which is south of Israel, bad, brother.
Even with the king of the north, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand.
Hold on 1 second, look at it real quick. Let's try to get it real quick. Hold on. The king of, I'm sorry, Syria. I always get these two mixed up. Syria was the king. Seleucus was the king of the north. I always get it mixed up. The reason why I got it mixed up, I'm about to say the king of the north was Ptolemy because Egypt is north of Africa. So that's how I get mixed up sometimes. Syria was the north and Ptolemy was the south. So the king of the, you gotta get?
It says Daniel 11 and 11. Daniel 11 verse 11. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler.
The king of the south is talking about Ptolemy. The reason why I confused it is because Ptolemy reigned in Egypt. He's the king of the south because Egypt is south of Israel. I'm thinking of he's the north because Egypt is north of Africa. So I got the north and the south mixed up. It's talking about Ptolemy, not T.I. But
even with the king of the, it says, and he shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north.
That's talking about that Seleucus which reigned in Syria, just north of Israel. So that's and the reason why, and that's basically all I wanted right there. That's basically all I wanted. And the reason why I wanted that part is because the brother started talking about South Africa, how Esau is ruling South Africa. But that ain't even your land. It says Egypt ain't them damn devils' land. That's the land of the Hamites. So when people say, oh, the white men never ruled Egypt, they're really lying. White men did rule Egypt at one time. Alexander took over Egypt. And one of the reasons why his body was stolen was they thought that they needed the body of Alexander basically like as a sign to say, oh look, see, I got the right to rule over this thing. So they stole his corpse while his corpse was being transferred somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So just as Esau doing that now in South Africa, did the same thing way before that. These damn devils was really killing each other before the year. Can you go back to that? In Diadochi War that actually did that website? That's how these devils are, man. They even doing that with Jake neighborhoods. You know? Taking over Jake neighborhoods, and Esau will go and rename the land. They'll rename the land. Or let's go to Washington, D.C. George Washington? Calling it after their own selves. You know?
Okay.
They got streets named after themselves. Columbus Circle. Columbus who? Who you call Columbus? The District of Columbia. Columbus. Go ahead, bro.
It says the Diadoches fought over and covered up Alexander.
What website is that?
Huh?
Website?
This is the Wikipedia. Diadoches.
Look, Wikipedia, you can put anything on there, but when you go down to the page, you can actually search the footnotes. Yeah. Go to another website. You go down to the page, just go back to Google. Go back. And just go to another website that's going to tell you the same shit. Go right there. There you go. Oh, right. Yeah, you need to research it. That's how you come up with a level.
Level up. It says on June 10th, 323 BCE, Alexander the Great died in Babylon.
Yep.
Although historians have debate and exact cause of most agree that the empire he built was left without an
Empire?
adequate leadership. For there was
some say when he died, it was left without adequate leadership. In other words, they say that before he died, he didn't appoint nobody. Yeah. But Maccabee said it did. So guess what? That's what we're going with. It may not have been an actual policy that was laid down, but it's what called the partition of something. Look like Alexander the Great partition. You might be able to find something. Go ahead, brother.
adequate leadership, for there was no clear successor or heir. The military.
I believe Alexander had a brother.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. But I think his brother was was all jacked up.
Yeah.
I think his brother was all jacked up, or son, if I'm not mistaken, who was all jacked up. Like, he has some kind of disease, he was sick, he was stupid, something along them lines. You know what that brother should do? I'm gonna give y'all homework or something, man. Go on Google and YouTube, and I want y'all to look up European inbreeding. European inbreeding. That's your homework assignment. Now you don't really gotta go home and say, all right, brother, here's the paper. I'm not saying do that, but look this up. The reason why I mentioned that to y'all is because I was actually driving somewhere with a chick that I grew up with in the world earlier this week, and we were just talking. Actually, yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was Friday. Yesterday, and we were just talking, and I was like, yeah, you know, these fucking motherfuckers. Like, we used to talk about Chinatown. I was talking about Chinatown. I was like, you know, it'd be cool if you could have like your own city, your own neighborhood, just talking. We were talking all of that. And I was like, you know, we used to talk about Chinatown. It's like, you know, they got a Chinatown in California. They got Chinatowns all over the country. They got one in New York, one in California, one here, one there. Chinatowns all over. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna look up the history of Chinatown. And he started talking to me about certain things. Like, you know what it is that back then you could have certain things. Back then, the reason why this stuff is generational. When you think about it, because there was a point in time when basically like America was for sale. You could just go and buy land and do what it is that you wanted with it. And over time, they started to create laws to make it more difficult. But the ones that bought land before then, they still got it now. Like the mob built Atlantic City. The Nyc family, they built up Atlantic City. The mob built up Las Vegas. They're still running now. Now, you just can't run up in Vegas and say, I'm going to go and do my own thing. There's certain laws in place, plus the mob will kill your ass. But at one point in time, you had the ability to go do that. That's why you didn't go have a bunch of Black Wall Streets now. Because certain things were put in place to prevent that from occurring. So we was having a conversation, I said, you know, they did a lot of inbreeding in Europe. And we started talking and all of that, and now you watching the video, they had like underbites, they look like this, look, like this. That's how a lot of them would look.
Yeah, retarded.
They had underbites, they had club foot. King Tutankhamun, it was said he had a club foot, because he was born from inbreeding. They was having babies with their sisters, first cousins, and all that. And with that, you know, we're going to close. We can say, oh, praise God, how much you got?
I just had something about Alexander's son. It said, according to history, Alexander had exactly one child, a son who was barely out of infancy when Alexander died. The child was mysteriously murdered.
There you go. So with that, so he wouldn't reign. So that could be the case. But the fact of the matter still remains, there were certain things that didn't allow it to be passed on to the children. So with that, I'm going to say, oh, praise God, how about you, the round of GMS. Till next time, shalom.
Shalom.